when you're doing a custom skate, especially in this particular case a tennis shoe, is take out the insole so you don't drill through the skate itself or through the tennis shoe itself. So once you take out the insoles, you are ready to begin the building process. I actually put the tennis shoe onto a shoe stand. Makes it a lot easier to do the job. So now that the shoe is on the shoe stand, I take the mounting plate and line everything up dead center of the boot. Most importantly, when you skate, you don't want to skate to the side. So I make sure that the plate is lined from the center or the back of the tennis shoe in this case to dead center of the front. So when you're standing over your skate or standing on top of your skates, everything is perfectly aligned. So now what you want to do is you want to mark where you're going to put those holes. So the holes are already there for you, and once you mark those holes, you get ready to start the drilling process, which you will see very shortly. Now the drilling process is beginning. Now when you're working with the tennis shoe, you have to be very firm with that drill, otherwise it'll move around on you a little bit. Wiggle that a little bit so you actually open that hole up so that mounting bolt goes in there very securely. Put that drill bit right up against that tennis shoe and press firmly into the shoe. Just make sure that you don't overpress because you don't want that drill to come through the shoe. So as you can see, when you're drilling into a tennis shoe, you don't just want to put the mounting bolt in there. What you want to add to that is a washer, in this particular case a Snyder cup, which prevents the mounting bolt from going through the tennis shoe when you tighten it up. That's real important to have before you complete this process. Now the plate is being attached to the shoe. Make sure it's nice and firm. Just use your hand to kind of guide the mounting bolts through the plate. Get everything lined up. Well, of course it's already lined up. And what you might want to do in this particular case is just take a little mallet and just kind of tap it. Now that the plate has been attached to the tennis shoe, you see that I'm using the mounting bolt nut. Just firmly use your finger and just guide that on there. And now you want to use a drill, but anyway, I'm actually holding inside, just feeling to make sure that when I drill that mounting bolt nut on, that it doesn't come through the tennis shoe. Feel this process rather than just taking it for granted. Now this is my favorite part, just breaking that off. Just back and forth, no problem, just take your time. Okay, now that I've used the breaker bar, the next step is, you notice the jagged edge on the mounting bolt nut and screw there. Well, it's important to knock that down flat. In this particular case, I'm going to use a hammer. That prevents an injury. Now, the next step, which is one of the most important steps in building a skate, is aligning the trucks onto the plate properly. Now, as you can see right here, I'm using both hands. On my left hand, I'm just holding the kingpin nut, and at the top, I'm actually screwing in the kingpin from the top. You want to hand tighten that, because if you don't, you can easily strip the plate threads inside, and you don't want to do that. So what you want to do first is make sure you hand tighten it first. Now this is a two-step process. I have a wrench in my left hand, which I'm using 11/16, and the kingpin nut itself is 9/16. And what you do is you just hold the kingpin in place on the bottom, and you just use your drill. A couple little quick drills is ready to go. Now what I'm doing here is I am securing the bearings in place, and there's a tool just for that. Now, the icing on the cake, the wheels are now going onto the axles. As you can see now, the axle nuts are going on. So when you put that axle nut on, you want to secure it on there first, nice and firm. Then you want to take your drill and drill that right in. Then you would take your unit tool or your paradigm tool and back off maybe a turn and a half, and this is what I call the wheel spin. Just use that finger, spin that wheel, make sure it's spinning nice and easy. The final touch to building a custom roller skate is adding the toe stop. That's important because you need to stop. So we are going to put the toe stop nut in place to the plate. Now this is real important right here. Take your time and do this because you can easily strip the threads inside the plate. So just take your time, do it nice and slow. And in this particular case you may not have a drill, just use a screwdriver. You will get the same results. And once that's in place, just kind of check it, double check, make sure you have no wibble wobble. You should be good to go.